Om Shanti, good morning, all of you. So, we are revising currently the Murli of 25th of March 1990. So, I'll just share the screen. And yesterday, we read the first part of the Murli, which was about just a moment. Yeah, so which was all about how Baba spoke about in Hindi, we say Suvidhaएं and sadhana and sadhan, the facilities, means, and along with that, the spiritual endeavor. That was Baba was saying that how you have to have a balance of both. And yesterday in the Sakar Murli's uh, Vardhan, the blessing as well, we listened about that. It's amazing that how, excuse me, it's amazing that how this blessing of the same day is a divine coincidence with what we read in the Avyak Murli. And we saw different levels of service. Baba speaking about Tan Man Dhan, that is the body, the mind, and the wealth. And along with that, Mansa Vacha Karmana, thoughts, word, and action. So we had left the Murli there, and I'll now read it further. I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, hope you can see it now. Yeah, so so we're starting from this line. Baba speaking that service through the words is easy, isn't it? But you have to pay a little attention to service through the mind. And so this is why you're able to accumulate the account of words, but the account of the mind remains empty. All of you are even more clever than the father when it comes to words. The little ones of today give even better lectures than the dadis because it is new blood. It is good, you may go forward. So Baba is not trying to mock us, he's just saying it is good. Babdada is happy and the dadis are also happy. But what will happen when the account of the mind remains empty? Because there are 100 marks for each account. You have claimed 100 marks for service through words, but what about service through the mind and actions? So do not just consider service through actions simply to do physical service, to do cleaning and washing dishes. You do this in the foreign lands anyway. Why Baba is specifically saying that? Because we know in India, at homes usually all this very routine work, washing utensils, dishwashing, washing clothes, all this is done by maids. I mean, obviously now it's different because it's all machines in picture. But in foreign lands, I mean, how much soever rich they are, usually people do their own washing. But service through actions means to be a part of the gathering, to come into relationship and connection with others. And all this is accumulated in the account of your actions. So Baba is saying it's not only just about cleaning, it's also about coming into contact. Sambandh, sampark. Sambandh is relationship, sampark is contact and connection. So see, there's a lot of difference in all three accounts of many. Yet they continue to be happy that they are doing a lot and that they are very good. You may remain happy, but the account should not remain empty either. Because Bap Dada has so much of love for the children, you cannot complain that you were not given a signal that this also happens. At that time, Bap Dada will remind you of this point. This image will appear on the television. And this is why this year you may do a lot of service, but make sure you keep these three accounts and also do the four types of service. I think the four types of service was serving the self, serving the world, then serving through the mind, and there was serving through actions, something like that. So what happens instead? The side of service through words has become very heavy. So if the side of service through the mind and the actions becomes slight, means little less, what will then happen? There will not be the balance. Will there? Because there isn't balance, the zeal and enthusiasm also fluctuate. Firstly, you have to keep attention on this, but Bab Dada tells you again and again not to change attention into tension. So many times you say that you have to pay attention, but then you change that attention into tension. So do not do this. Baba is very specifically asking us that please don't do this. Just a moment. There should be easy attention and natural attention. There is natural attention in the stage of being double light. Is it clear? So you will not complain afterwards that you did not know, will you? Acha. Secondly, what method of service will you adopt? That was an aspect of how to attain success. But now what method will you adopt to attain that success? Firstly, the task that you have been continuing for 2 years, that of global cooperation. You will not say that you have to finish it. You will say that you have to complete it. So you have to complete this task. So there's a difference between these two words. Finish means khatam karna, samapt karna, and complete is actually to give it in one way a mark of perfection. So what is this task of global cooperation? 1990, it started in 1988, late 80s. It was about the project from the foreign lands, I think the first of its kind, or rather the second. So there were two main projects. One was Million Minutes of Peace Appeal, and the second was Global Cooperation for a Better World. So Baba speaking about this program where, under this theme, Global Cooperation for a Better World, many programs, many events, seminars, small conferences were organized. And that was not only in India, it was abroad. It started from the UK. So Baba is saying in the programs that you are prepared now for this task, whether you have to hold functions or whether you have to prepare a book and give the message to everyone. You may hold a function or you may prepare a book, but definitely pay attention to the one aspect that you have to achieve more glory through less expense. Bab Dada has been adopting that method for every aspect from the beginning up until now. That it should not be too high and it should not be too simple. It should be somewhere in between. So there are two kinds of souls. So before this, let me just go back onto this word which Baba says that you have to pay attention to. In Hindi, we call it Kam Kharch Bala Nashin, which means achieving more output or more glory through less expense. So now Baba is going on to say that when you do service, or even at your centers, whatever the facilities, in Hindi we say rakh rakhav, whatever you have at the centers, make sure it is of mediocre. It should not be too high, because if it is too high, they will say, oh, see the centers, there is so much of flamboyance, there is no tapasya, there is no sadhana, it is like the Lokik world. It's just riches. And it should not be rags as well. You know this expression of riches and rags. Rags means it should not be like you're not wearing proper clothes. Uh, your clothes are not clean, and particularly wearing white clothes can be a little bit challenging because a white, it gets stained very easily. So Baba is saying it should be in between. Now he's saying that there are two kinds of souls. If you make it look very expensive, people will say that you have a lot of money. And if you make it cheap, it doesn't have any value. So this is why you should always keep it in between. And Babdada is heard through the trance messenger about the creation of the book. So the book would have been created on the occasion of this global cooperation for a better world. So whatever you have created until now is good. You have to create it because you have to complete it. But do not have a lot of expansion. Do not make it too long. Keep it short and sweet. It should also have the essence. Sometimes the essence is lost in the expansion, whereas when there is essence, it touches the intellect. And this is why the points are okay. The work being carried out is also good, but do not keep your intellect too busy in that. So this should also be in between, which means your intellect is not just either very, very busy or just very, very free. It's in somewhere in between. Either you leave it or you become too busy with it through the intellect. So in this also you have to achieve more glory through less expense of time and energy of the intellect. So again, kam kharch bhala nashi. So let the intellect's time and energy not be wasted. But congratulations to all of those who are working very hard. So firstly, this task has to be completed. Even if you hold the programs in the next year, you have to complete it. It's a very good thing. It is okay. Even if some children think that it is too long, that you have remained too busy, or that there has been too much expense. For whatever has happened is good, and whatever will happen will be even better. You must not get tired, but increase your zeal and enthusiasm. So maintain the interest with which you began this program multifold, but as you complete it, use the method. So the method constantly Baba is saying is of more glory through less expense. Kam kharch bala nashin. And multifold less expense. So though there is multifold success, multifold attainment, but all is at the cost of multifold less expense. So did you understand this? The writers of the book have understood this, have they not? You're making it very well. It is all okay. But do not stay awake at night and then say that you have become tired. And this, I remember Sister Jayanti Didi had actually shared this, that during this program of global cooperation for a better world. And that's the reason the name of the building in the UK, London, our International Coordinating Center, the first building which came into being was the GCH, Global Cooperation House. So it all started from there. So these people were extremely busy and they really had so much of paperwork to do as well. So Jayanti Didi used to share that they had to really spend a lot of time working in late hours. And that really affected the sleep of many of them. And you can imagine it's but very natural for the body that if you don't have a proper sleep, a night's sleep, your Amrit Vela dwindles. You know that very well. All of us know that, and it's something very natural. It's a natural rhythm of the body that if you don't get proper rest, you get up in the morning and it's all very dizzy. You are not in a proper state of mind. So, therefore, Baba is reminding us here in that Avyak Murli, he said that do not stay so much awake at night and then say that you have become tired. Do not do this. Your time should be fixed because many think that if they stay awake at night to do their work, the work carried out will be good. However, the intellect gets tired. And then because Amrit Vela is not powerful, the work that should be carried, which should be double, is only single. So here comes again that we are serving through action, but serving through mind becomes low because Mansa Seva here gets affected. So this is why there should be a limit to time also. Nowadays, when it is the time of an examination for children, they are made to go to sleep before midnight. If they have greater interest, they go to sleep at midnight at the latest. However, you should go to sleep even earlier than this. We know in Hindi the expression, "Das ab bas," by 10 p.m. we should be off to bed. And then in the morning, study with a fresh intellect. And this is why Bapdada does not like it when you stay awake late at night for a month or 15 days. There should be a limit. Even if it is a very essential task, the latest you should carry on with it is 11 o'clock. So see, Baba is being so specifically is telling us like you can say a mother or a teacher. So no longer than 11 o'clock. You should not sleep the following day. You should sleep on the same day. So which means the clock ticks 12 midnight. Before that, much before that, 1 hour before that, 11 o'clock, you're supposed to go to bed, not beyond midnight. So Babdada is happy seeing the enthusiasm of the children, but even then he has to put a limit so that the intellect is constantly fresh, and then you can finish the work of 2 hours in 1 hour with a fresh intellect. And so one task of service is this. We said, Kam kharch bala nashin, which means less expense but more glory. Secondly, now, what will you do? You were told about this previously. At present, in the foreign lands as well as here, a lot of time and money has been used for this huge program. And this is why now, whether it is those who come into relationship and connection, or whether it is to give message to new souls, have sneha milans, that is gatherings of love. And this inspirations Baba gave it from that time. So we say nowadays routinely sneha milan, which is nothing but getting together in a small gathering of love. Have small ones. Even if it is a gathering of only 5 at a small center, it doesn't matter. They will be even more refreshed. So, smaller the group, it's better because you have more one on one interactions. They will be refreshed and they will feel homely and they will come close. You can have a gathering of between 5 and 50 or 100. Just a Sneha Milan, not a huge function. In however much space you have, or however much space you can easily get with as little expense as possible. And nowadays, all the centers can at least accommodate up to 50 very easily. So Baba's saying that it should be more of just touching them little bit of knowledge in yoga and basically serving them some food, Brahma Bodh, so that that goes with the soul. And all of us know that the seed of knowledge or the seed of Brahma Bodh, once it is instilled in every soul, it will sprout out at some point of time, maybe in a few years, few months, don't know. So even if you want to rent out a bigger space, make sure it is little expense. Do not run around a lot. You should be able to get it quite easily. If there are 100 souls that are going to come to you, according to the drama, you will easily find a place also. But do not think that one held a program for 100, and so even those at the small centers have to hold programs for 100. So then when the zeal and enthusiasm reduce after you have had a program for 100, you then say, oh, what will happen now? So do not do this. So here Baba is very specifically asking us to be away from this sanskar of comparison. Never we should compare in seva with anyone. This center is big, falana falana, which means XYZ, they had 100 souls. My center also should have 100. This is competition. This is not really the zeal and enthusiasm of pure service. Service happening with a pure mind, a pure intellect. No. That's just trying to be in a comparison mode or competition mode. And that will not take us anywhere because we'll never be contented. Each to his own. Every center, the number of souls coming is so different. And the karmic accounts of the BKs at any center with the sister center in charge there and also with some new souls, all is so different. There are so many factors. So we never have to compare. So Baba says, hold a program according to your capacity. First thing, according to the cooperative souls who are coming there. We say Sahayogi souls, right? According to the power of love and money, both. How much ever love you have within yourself, don't fake around, and also how much money you have. For 5 or 25 or 50, you decide that, but you must definitely hold it. So you definitely have to remain busy. You have to have them every 3 months according to your capacity. So Baba is telling, like every quarterly, in a year, 4 times, if they can come in contact, come to the center and experience those vibes, give them some simple Brahma Bhojan, that should be good enough. Whether you have 3 or 4, you definitely have to have them. And then you will experience that if at first you have a Sneha Milan for 5, those 5 will bring 2 to 3 others. And so the next time there will be 10 and then there will be 15. So sometimes we apply this slogan for Seva that each one get one, right? So Baba is saying that each one could actually get more, 2 or 3, and then the exponential rise in service will be there. It will eventually increase because you do it by being double light. You do not have to do it with a burden, because the more I am in comparison and competition with any other center, or any other sister, or even any other BKs of the other center, it just takes a toll on you. And basically the intent goes away. The intention, the pure intention of seva goes away. It's not a burden, but you must not become careless either, thinking, oh, what service can I do now? I've already done a lot. Do not do this. Service is the means to remain busy. But because you do it as a burden, then you become tired. But otherwise, service is the one should increase happiness. In Hindi, we say, Seva ka pratyaksh phal is khushi. The more and more service I do, the result which is revealed to me is of happiness. Service enables you to claim the blessings of many souls. How will you reach 900,000 if you do not do service? Do service, but underline the fact that you must not do service with a burden, because this is a burden, comparison or competition. Whether it's a burden of the intellect or a burden of money, if you do it whilst being easy, service will increase easily. So you definitely have to carry out all the methods that you adopt. If someone becomes cooperative with you and gives you a ready-made stage for a huge function, try it out. And so, although you will have carried out a huge function, there will have been neither the burden of the intellect nor the burden of money. And actually, this time has come now where we see that there are so many rich, influential, political, religious, cooperative souls in the yajna now, particularly in relation to Madhuban as well. So many VIP programs we do every year through Mrityunjay Bhai, that so many souls, the cooperative souls, are so influential and political souls. And why I'm saying that? Because they provide with, as Baba said, they provide with a ready-made stage. They tell you, we will do all the expenses. You all just come and give us some knowledge, teach us some meditation, and that's what. And so then we don't even have to worry about the traveling expenses as well. They just reimburse everything. So you just have to make yourself available. And particularly when I say available, it's not about being physically available. It's about how my mind is. Is my mind an intellect without any burden? So if I'm stable, I'm very light, double light, I can just then be Bab Saman, touch Baba's state, touch Baba's whatever knowledge, yoga, power, touch them and touch and come back. So that's the only job which is left now. And as we go further in the days, it will be very tough. We could see, so only thing which would work will be Mansa Seva, serving through mind. So there will be no burden on the intellect nor the burden of money. So see, there are so many such cooperative souls now, such cooperative organizations. Make them cooperative with you. And if you have courage, then definitely have one large function. If not, then don't do it. Because a large function also glorifies the organization. And here comes what Dadi Prakashmani then got the sankalp. She got a thought from Baba's Murlis that we have to do one large function. And from here began the era of having 1 lakh, which means 100,000 uh, people, a gathering of 100,000. And then it started with, I think, Ahmedabad, and then went on to other big cities in India. So again, if you do a large function, it will glorify the organization, but do it whilst being double light and keep the aim that instead of using your own energy, you will use the energy of others for their for this godly task. And you will then receive many invitations. You can find a cooperative soul from any profession. You can find them in every country, small or large. At present, there are some organizations that have the energy, but they do not know the method with which to use it. So let us give them the method and explain them how we can do it. They are just looking for such cooperation, but they are not able to see anyone just like that. They will give you cooperation with a lot of love, and they will come close. And there will then be expansion in your subjects of 900,000, 9 lakhs, which we are looking for. The heirs will emerge, the Varis quality souls, and also the subjects will emerge, Praja as well. Just see, they came here as cooperative souls for the global cooperation for a better world, that program, and now they have become heirs. There have been some like that, have they not? They came as important guests and have now become great. So why is this English words? This is Mehman ban ke aana and Mahan ban ke jana. Mehman and Mahan. And so there are there are many such close souls that have emerged and will emerge in future as well. You must definitely continue to do one thing or another. But Bab Dada is repeatedly reminding you to do everything whilst being double light. Acha? So this second thing is now clear. The second thing is all about, again, it is into the context of less expenditure, more glory, but in the context of expenditure for the mind and intellect, trying to be double light while doing seva. Now, the third thing is in Bharat also have Sneha Milans with this method. And then finally, as I said before, definitely have a large function whereby Dadi Prakashmani was then thinking about doing a program for 100,000, 1 lakh population. In Bharat also, even the exhibitions bring a very good result. So have small Sneha Milans and bring them close. And then bring them onto the stage at big programs. They should speak from their own experience. They should not have to say anything. Sorry, not they, you. So we don't have to force them to speak. They'll speak from their own experience. The impact of a big program is unique in itself, and the impact, the success of a Sneha Milan is also unique in itself. A Sneha Milan is like preparing the land of the souls, and a big function is for spreading the sound. So both are needed. So Sneha Milan is just tilling the land, sowing the seeds, and then when the seeds sprout, a big function organized, which means you're spreading the sound through all those cooperative souls. As Baba always says that you now don't have to speak so much. You become might and they become your mics, which means they speak for you instead. But do all this according to the capacity. We have to do it. We have received a direction. That's a very sort of someone forcing onto you. No. We have to do it is a very wrong language. We are happy to do it. We are more than happy because it's coming from Madhuban. So that should be the thought process. We are not able to do it, but we are still doing it. That's another sort of forced thing coming on. So Baba is saying it should not be like this. Do not do this out of compulsion. So do you understand? Acha. Today Bab Dada received a message that he had to speak about this. Baba is a server. He also follows the message from the children. Acha. And then I think tomorrow we can look at this. Let me just check out. Yeah. So then tomorrow we'll look at the the next aspect. It's been said third, but I think it's whatever the next one, it's for self-progress. So I'll stop here and then stop sharing the screen and a minute in silence. Yes, you can start sharing. Yes.
Something. Baba's giving a clear message from today's Murli that look at having complete balance in the way you do seva. Don't get into the space of too much of glory, in the sense, too much of expansion at the same point of time. Do not um, have the impression of being, if I have to look at the reflection, that you don't have anything. There has to be complete balance in the way we do the seva, and that's how it will touch the world out. That's the point to reflect and practice.
Om Shanti. So Baba says, to have a keep the balance. I mean, keep attention, but not tension. So don't convert attention to tension. So Baba says, everything has to be easy. So take it easy and easy attention. That should do. And also have that, maintain that awareness throughout. That awareness should also be natural, and that feel that lightness. Don't force anything. Don't check anything. Should be effort. The main thing I think, but Baba trying to Baba saying us is to maintain that stage, good stage, beatable light stage. So the mind should be free. There should not be any burden inside. So when there's no burden, of course, we remain light. So service is there, so much of service. Baba emphasizes to do these three types of service through words, mind, and action. So whilst doing all that, so having a good stage is very important. Yeah. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti Manoj Bhai. I was just thinking about all the service program, a lot when I was in Dubai. There were a lot of this, first where Baba speaks about Sahayogi Atma. I remember there were many souls who were never, I think the wife took the gyan, but the husband never took the gyan. Still, and I remember that person, he was a doctor. But still, he used to be invited when the wife comes. He used to be invited. He used to be made to sit in front, and he started, like this, just contributing a bit and all, like cooperation. One time, it so happened he fell sick. He felt so sick, and she was the only one at home. The sisters went to take care of him, giving him godly food, and that and many other ways. So this was also one way where I found when Baba spoke about making cooperative souls, Sahayogi Atma, they then really gave, like he had given a blank check because he was really sick, and it was the sisters who really went home and took care of him, giving him godly food and all. So this also, I just remember, I thought I should share how cooperative guests and all. And then sometimes they call, I remember when those days we used to call the art of living people, and we had this Sahaj Yog. All those people used to come as a group, and we used to have snippets from each one used to give what does meditation mean to them. And we also had very good programs where scientists used to be called about consciousness and all. But the Sneha Milan is something which I think which touches the heart, because you have to first bring them close to the center. So that is preparing the land for the souls. They have to first enter your center. So for that, there will be no talk, no BK kind of thing. Colored clothes and all will be allowed by over there. And everyone, we used to have just talk, what does life mean for you? What is your contribution? What is your aim in life? Like that. And we used to have good food and all. So then this name, Ellen, once you prepared, people liked all that. So, as Baba said, these name millets are needed for preparing the land of souls. And a big program is needed when you want to spread the sound. Nice service points you have given, and I feel very happy because most of them I have really experienced all these kind of service programs, variety programs, rather than just giving the course or giving Baba's knowledge. I just wanted to share that, Om Shanti.
Just one question here. So I I read Murli, I think we all read that. So where Baba talked about going beyond the capacity. Okay, so always go beyond the capacity. Don't set a capacity for yourself. And then in today's Murli, Baba emphasizes on, understand your capacity and do it according to your capacity. That you should, sleep on time, and also the program and your conducting, right? It's all should be, based on your capacity. So, can you explain that contrast in some other Murlis we hear Baba saying go beyond the capacity. See, I heard this that, and a sister who was sick, okay, so in that center, and then it was Thursday. So in some centers there'll be only one sister, right? So though Thursday means sisters will, I mean, people will come there, right? So so Bog has to be prepared, and the sister, despite of not keeping well, coming forward and cooking Bog that day. That is again, that is something I understand going beyond the capacity. Um, so can you give a little more clarity about why Baba said today? Baba says, according to your capacity, and in the past, I heard this going beyond capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Baba's perspective keeps changing every time. So he would have seen that the sister got ill, but despite that, she's really going out of the way, cooking Thursday, bhog, whatever, etc. Because she's the only person there. There's no other way. And there are not many cooperative souls there also, or not many BK Matas who can come and help her, XYZ. But here today, Baba is speaking in the context of this big program, rather not big, the Global Cooperation for a Better World, where I spoke to you and I told you that even Jayanti Didi shared this, that they had to really work late hours. And Baba specifically mentioned that 11 p.m. because any effort which we make and say we go out of the way to do our best out of our capacities, but then it affects our normal effort making, which means a normal routine schedule of Amrit Vela. Some people even go to the extent of missing the Murli and doing work, and that's not right. So Baba is saying that you should not lose this. It's a delicate balance. Because if as a Brahmin I'm not able to do proper Amrit Vela, I'm not able to attend the Murli on time, I'm not able to do the Nimasham Yog, I mean, then that doesn't really uh, help me in any way. Because then my mind and intellect get overburdened. Seva, seva, seva. So that's the reason Baba said that you have to strike this balance between Swa Seva or Swa Purusharth, what we call the service of the self, which means all the things which we do, the routine, yoga time, Amrit Vela, etc., and service. So there has to be striking a balance of yoga and seva. Swa seva is yoga, and seva is your service in the other way. So it's important because that's the reason people then get ill. And what happens is, if you gave an example of that sister just all by herself, and if you fall ill, then you had it. I mean, there's no one else to help you. And then we have heard many instances. I have heard and I have seen it for myself. I'm not going to name any place where it is from and the name of the sister, obviously, no. But one of the sisters, she became quite depressed. And it can go up to, we have heard many instances of BKs committing suicide, even in Madhuban. So you can imagine it goes up to that level. And the sister here I'm speaking about from some center, she became depressed and she was not able to function properly because she was the only sister there. So she obviously the seniors there in the local area, the senior BK teacher and the zone in charge had to take the decision that she needs to go home in her Lokik home because there's no one else to look after her at the center. And you can imagine Baba keeps a lot of responsibility on the instrument of the center. That if the center in charge is herself depressed, can you imagine or can you visualize what sort of vibrations is she exuding in the center? It will be all vibrations of depression. So here we are, people are coming to empower themselves, but they are not able to empower, they are not getting those vibrations. How will that center grow? It will absolutely never grow. So in view of that, and also for her sake, for her benefit, she was transferred back to her home. She still stays at home, wearing the white sari and the badge, but she's under treatment of a psychiatrist and a psychologist as well. So these things can happen too much overboard, people going in wrong directions, and too much seva doesn't lead us anywhere because if my state of mind and intellect functioning is not right, I mean, I would rather not do that service. And to add another layer to this is sometimes as Baba said about going into competition and comparison, we go in that mode, and that is still more detrimental. So, very important is the intention behind the seva, what I'm doing. Even if I go beyond capacity, that's okay sometimes, but I should make sure I have to strike a balance of my mind, of my body, my wealth as well, physical health, mental health, everything all inclusive. I think that hope that answers your question.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Manoj bhai, before you close, just one small this. Because you know so much about organizational things happening in the yajna and all. See, sometimes when there's a program, the students generally they know they are asked to what to say contribute and all. And I have also heard once Bap Dada in the yajna when these three brothers went up, he often says, "Itna kharcha nahi karna hai, itna kharcha karke karna kam karo." So Baba also is aware about the expense. But what I have seen in some places, in order to make it, as you said, competition ostentatious, sometimes the students have to contribute, and there's a kind of something happens there. So who decides upon all this? What should be the contribution? What should be the total expense for that program? Who decides generally?
Well, this question has unending answers. No one decides particularly. See, I feel what is most important here is someone announced, like that, a big senior like Dadi Prakashmani announced. For I'm giving an example. Say 1 lakh program has to be not 1 lakh rupees. It's about the number of people who are to be invited is 1 lakh figure. So for that, obviously, all of them sit down from Madhuban directions, come, say, for example, Ahmedabad. So the Ahmedabad, all the center in charges would come and sit down and work out the expenses, and then they would roll it out to the centers, and the centers have to decide that yes, so much bhandari needs to be generated for doing this function, and then each to his own, so number wise, so whoever wants to sort of contribute can do it according to their capacity. So I don't think there is such hard and fast rule. Nevertheless, having said that, when they wanted to build Gyan Sarovar 1995, 1990 and 1995, 96 was Shantivan. So that time we know Dadi Prakash Mani, the golden
1
rule
rupee,
of each 1 rupee, as we had
1
discussed.
day.
So it's not like a hard and fast rule, but I think most important is all of us are making our own fortune by contributing in whatever way we can. But most important is our state of mind and our intention behind the service. If it is just for flamboyance, that is not a true intention. It should be a pure heart, and people should be touched. Like, it should not be like any other organization program or any other spiritual organization. They also have a lot of big mega programs. But what people really want here is an experience of Baba and the touching of Baba or experience of yoga. And once they'll be able to get that only if all the people here. Somewhere I was reading, I think it was yesterday's slogan or today's slogan, you all will read it, that anything you want to have success in program is Behad ki Vairag Vritti. Like, people should be able to experience that attitude of unlimited, what we call Behad ki Vairag, which is unlimited renunciation or unlimited detachment in our programs, which they won't be able to experience in any other non-BK programs, because that's our USP, our unique selling point, that here everything is about developing the soul conscious vision, and that can only develop once we are in the attitude of unlimited disinterest. So our intention matters behind the seva. The number of rupees, pounds, dollars doesn't really matter. I think the intention matters. Okay, thank you. So, thank you for elaborate questions and discussions. So, we'll just try to close by going in silence for a few moments. Thanks. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. We shall continue tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a lovely day.